Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NCR Radio Show. I am Miriam Knight, and our guest today is Agapi Stassinopoulos, the author of a fascinating new book, Unbinding the Heart, a dose of Greek wisdom, generosity, and unconditional love. Agapi was born in Greece and moved to England to study acting, and then moved to the U.S., where she later got a master's degree in spiritual psychology. Today, she leads inspirational workshops around the world, acts, writes, and produces plays and documentaries about Greek goddesses, and is a regular blogger for the Huffington Post, founded by her sister Arianna. Oh. Welcome, Agapi.
Oh, Miriam, what a lovely introduction. And you have such a beautiful voice. It's so dynamic.
Thank you. And I loved your book. You know, it makes one a bit jealous of the joy for life that seems to be part of the Greek culture.
Oh.
Do you think you would have written this book if you had been English?
It would have been a little thinner. You know, it's so funny because the girl that I have that we work together on social media and everything, we were saying to her, the other day, I write these very long emails that say much love and hugs and light and be well, and it's like they're all very flowery and warm, and I'm trying to put exuberance through my emails, and I said, I hope they're not going to say, oh, she's so Greek and exuberant. Let's change our style to make it English and say, sincerely yours, Agapi. Well, you know, I was educated in London, and it was a stretch. Because I remember meeting people, I was 17, and of course wanting to kiss twice. You know, Greeks go left and right, and people would go, they pull back like, what is she doing, you know? and I remember just being really taken aback by the incredible way that they are contained and reserved, and you realize that they're warm inside, but it doesn't come out, you know. And well, it's such a different culture, such a different culture. But the weather, Miriam, the weather. I mean, if you're brought up with gray every day, it doesn't make you want to, means you want to bundle up.
Yeah. Well, actually, I lived in London for 13 years. And
really?
So when I moved to Portland, Oregon, I felt there was no difference at all. I felt right at home.
Yes, well, exactly. There's the same. So it's the sun, and that's the Mediterranean climate. It makes you want to come out and share and be more expressive, and so that's, I think, we're trying to bring that spirit and that culture back to here.
I think we need that back in the world. It's such a cold and dissociated world. And it's the new consciousness is part of coming back into community, don't you think?
Exactly, into community and into realizing that we are part of one tribe, the human tribe, you know, and that I think we need to bridge those gaps and any way we can. You know, we don't have to go to Africa to save, you know, the cause of AIDS or save, you know, human poverty, but we can just reach out to each other, and that's the whole message of the book, Unbinding the Heart. It's really, how do you unbind? You just reach out. You reach out to your bank teller when you are getting the money. You reach out to when you're in the bus. You reach out to the supermarket. You reach out, you connect, and that's what we've lost with technology and with the busyness and the rushing to the next thing and the next thing, and I think if we lose that connection, our lives feel disconnected and amiss. The whole book is about connection. It's how do you connect with yourself, and how do you connect with your spirit, and how do you connect with your fellow human beings? Because ultimately, I think there's nothing more fulfilling than connecting. Am I right?
Oh, totally right.
And how do we give people tools to connect?
Yeah. Your mother was an amazing human being, and clearly a big influence on her, on you.
Yes.
She was like a real Demeter. Amongst your goddesses.
Yes.
Give our listeners a sense of who she was.
Yes, my mother her name was Ellie, and she fought in the Red Cross in the Second World War. she was raised in northern Greece and then lived in Athens with me and Arianna, where she met and married my father. And basically, her spirit was so indomitable and so filled with the overcoming adversity. She had the adversities of, the age of living in a country that did not really support women to be independent, married to a man who she loved but ended up having affairs, which was more of the Zeus typical way, men just sometimes do that and think it's the right. And she became ruthless about taking me and Arianna and giving us an education of the mind and of the soul and of the ethics of life that said, be fearless, be who you are, own your gift. And she did so many, many things. And these are 32 stories that I have in the Unbinding the Heart book, in my book, that I talk about what she instilled in us. Anything from, there's a chapter that I love called There Is Always a Solution, and being little girls on our way out to the theater when she locked herself out of the apartment because she forgot her handbag in the apartment. And we panicked. And she said, no panic, we're just still going to go to the theater, have dinner, and have a good time. And you say, how on earth is she going to do that? And she went and borrowed money from the super and went to the theater and said, we have our tickets, but I lost my bag, I left my bag in the apartment, and we want to still see the play. And they got us in, and we had a nice dinner. And then the fireman was across the street from us. He got the fireman to open the window. Of course, we were living on the third floor, which made it easier to get us in back. But it was like giving the message, don't panic, have a good time no matter what, and restoring this sort of trust that there is help in the universe. Mm-hmm. And what made her to be like that, I think, is because, when you fight the Second World War and the Germans and this horrific time of the soldiers, and I have an incident of where she actually told the German soldiers to put their guns down because they were Red Cross. And she said to me, when you look at 3 machine guns in the face, straight on, and the machine guns come down because you told them so, you're never afraid anymore of life or of things that happen. And I think we live in an age of where there is, I call it the tyranny of fear and the tyranny of doubt. And it's like, it's time to, and that's what the whole unbinding is. It's like, you've got to get yourself out of the bootstraps and say, what binds me? What am I holding back? What am I afraid of? And where can I express my love, my courage, and my humanity? So she did many things, Miriam. I mean, she did that. She had a vision for me and Arianna to go to the best schools, and there she was in Athens with she had brothers who had more money, but she was struggling with money, and we were not rich by any means. We were living, in a small little apartment, and she just said, okay, Arianna is going to go to Cambridge, and Agapi is going to go to RADA, and she just made these things happen out of her vision, that she found the ways. And I want to inspire your listeners and the readers of the book with this message that if you ask and if you trust and if you don't allow yourself to get discouraged, there is nothing that you cannot achieve. If you want to get from A to B, if you want to get to that college, if you want to get to that job, if you want to create with perseverance, with tenacity, with vision, with asking, and with just holding for yourself in the direction you're going to get there. And it is statistics. It's like, if you want it big enough. Mm-hmm. And it is this strengthening and this confidence and that helps you from inside to find, your spark in life. So these are the things that she taught us, and it's just, as I said, it's many stories, 32 stories of how to find that spirit inside that rises, that strength, that consciousness. It's a call to consciousness, and we don't have to play small. We're these mighty beings, and we can rise to that occasion. And part of the greatest thing that my mother did, and it's a great key, is she was really a woman of service. I mean, she served people by her joy, by offering, whether it was food or whether it was advice or whether it was somebody needed something. She will open doors for people. Mm-hmm. And the greatest way to empowerment is to really help other people, because then you realize that you can.